Yesterday we will see the concept of conditional probability and some formulas for the conditional probability. Now let's try to solve some theorems based on conditional probability. These theorems will be based on the independent events. Okay, first theorem, that will be the, in a random experiment they will be given two events, event 1 and event 2. Two events they will be given, and what they will be tell such that P of E1 will be not equal to 0 and P of E2 will be not equal to 0. You already know these two things. That means from conditional probability the denominator value will not be the 0. The denominator value here, if you see, for example, P of E1 or E2, that will be the P of E1 intersection E2 divided by P of E2. For example, this will be the formula for the conditional probability. Here this value that will be not equal to 0. If this will be become the 0, there will be no chance of applying the conditional probability. For this, if you see what they will be given, try to solve P of E1 intersection E2, that is equal to P of E1 dot P of E2 divided by E1. And similarly, once we have to solve this will be so simple only. Okay, let's solve this proof. And here, if I take from the Venn diagram point of view, this will be the sample space S, and this will be the event E1, and this will be the event E2, and here S be the sample space, and E1 comma E2 be the events. And what they will be given? Events such that P of E1 that will be not equal to 0 comma P of E2 that will be not equal to 0. And how to solve this? If you take one example, that will be the P of E2 divided by E1, that will be the P of E1 intersection E2 divided by P of E1. You already know here E1 and E2 be the independent events. That means if you take here P of E2 divided by E1, independent means this E2 will not affect the E1, and similarly and E1 will not affect this E2. Hence these two events are said to be the independent events. So this will be our formula. P of E2 divided by E1 is equal to P of E1 intersection E2 divided by P of E1. What will happen if you take P of E1 intersection E2? Here this will become the division. If you move on this will become the multiplication. This will become the P of E1 dot P of E2 divided by E1. Similarly, if you want to solve P of E1 divided by E2, this is also an independent event, one event that will not affect the other event. How you can write? By using the conditional probability. That will be the P of E2 intersection E1 divided by P of E1. And some of them are getting the doubt, that will be the why we can't write P of E1 intersection E2, but why we write P of E2 intersection E1. Why means, if you want to take an independent events, it will not affect the each other. We have to interchange the variables, whatever the variables that will be present in the events. That's why we will be swap that values and we will get the appropriate results. This only applicable for the independent events. Okay, please remember that and keep in mind. This will be the P of E1, that will be into P of E1 divided by E2, that will be equal to P of E2 intersection E1. Hence we can solve this theorem. Here the results will be the important for these theorems. Please remember the results, and as well as the formulas for these theorems will be important for the random variables when we start. And next theorem, if theorem 2, if E1 and E2 are independent events of a sample space S, then first question, E1 bar and E2 bar are independent, and similarly second question, E1 bar and E2 are independent, E1 bar and E2 are independent. Similarly, third question, this will be E2 only. Next, this will be the E1 and E2 bar are independent. Okay, let's see the proof for this. First case, if I want to take, that will be the E1 bar and the E2 bar are independent. Here also they will be given the two events, that will be the E1 and E2 of a sample space. Yes, here if I take and means, if you see the and, you have to put the intersection. Or means you have to put the union. Here P of E1 bar intersection E2 bar. So if you want to write, this will be the E1 bar intersection E2 bar. This will be the P of E1 union E2 bar. Then how you write this? This will be the P of S minus E1 union E2, right? This will be the P of S minus P of E1 union E2. You already know from the axioms, from the axiom 2, axioms of probability, P of S that will be equal to 1. I already tell you in the axioms of probability. Please watch that lecture. And what this P of S is equal to 1 means, if I take the probability of an event, P of E is equal to, P of E is in between 0 to 1. That means the probability of any event that will not go above the 1 and it will not go below the 0. That probability of event in between the 0 to 1, it will be present. For example, if I take P of, this will be the 0. 0 means there will be no events, will be present in the sample space of that experiment. No events means we have to represent it with the null space. Null space can be represented by the 5, that will be equal to 0. And similarly, if I take the sample space for this 1, what will happen? P of S is equal to 1. That means all the variables and all the variables that will be present in the events that will be there in this probability of that sample space, that will be maximum, you will get the value as 1. And next, similarly, if you apply this, if you see the P of S, we have to directly represent it by means of 1. P of S is equal to 1 minus P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 intersection E2, P of A union B, P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B, right? If you take the common, it will become the 1 minus P of E1 into 1 minus P of E2. If you want to represent this in terms of complement, this will become the P of E1 bar into P of E2 bar. This will be the result. Hence, E1 bar and the E2 bar are the independent events. Hence, E1 bar and E2 bar are independent events. Okay, please write it down. One visually completed. Next, what have to completed? E1 bar and the E2 are independent events or not. We have to check for that. This condition. Here what they will be given? P of E1 bar. If you see the and symbol, you have to just put the intersection. This will be the intersection E2. That will be equal to P of E2 minus E1 intersection E2, right? If you apply the probability for this, you have to see P of E2 minus P of E1 intersection E2, and here if you take the P of E2 minus P of A intersection B, that will be the P of A into P of B. Similarly, how you can write P of E1 into P of E2. And similarly, if you take the P of E2 common, what will happen? P of E2, if I take the common, 1 minus P of, this will become the P of E1, and this will be the P of E2 into, how you can write 1 minus P1. If you want to put the complement, that will become the P of E1 bar. This will become the P of E1 bar. This will be the P of E1 bar intersection E2 bar. Here you can see clearly, one variable will not affect the other variable. Once will be the normal form and another will be in the complement form. Hence we will set to be this as this will be the independent events. Hence E1 bar and E2 are independent events. And next, take this as an homework. Similarly, you can apply it in this way. In this way, you can easily get this answer, no problem. This will be taken as an homework. Okay. Next, try to solve another theorem. Here what the variable given? E1 comma E2 comma E3 are the independent events of a sample space. Yes, then E1 union E2 and E3 are also independent events. Are also independent events. Let's solve this. If you can see this question here, if you want to apply the probability for this, what we will get? This will be the probability of E1 union E2 and means intersection. This will be the intersection E3. Let's see what will happen. This will be the P of E1 intersection E3 union this will be the E2 intersection E3, and if you take this will be as in P of A union B, what will happen? What will be the formula for P of A union B? Formula for P of A union B, that will be the P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Apply this formula here. Here what will happen? That will be the P of E1 intersection E3 plus P of E2 intersection E3 minus P of E1 intersection E3 or E2 intersection E3, and you already know P of A intersection B, that will be the P of A into P of B. Here this will be the P of E1 dot P of E3 plus, here this will be the P of E2 dot P of E3 minus, here this will be the P of E1 into P of E2 into P of E3, and here if you take P of E3 common, what will happen? This will be the P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 into P of E2, and if you know P of E3, this will be the P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 into E2. This will be in the form of, that will be the union P of E1 union E2. This will be the proof for the P of E1 union E2 intersection E3. Okay, let's see, let's try to solve one more theorem, that will be the last theorem. These results will be important for your examination point of view. What they will be given? If event E is independent of phi and S, I already discussed this, what will happen if phi will be there and what will happen if S will be there in the first theorem. Similarly, that concept we have to apply it here. Here, if you see, if you want to take E intersection phi, what will happen? If you apply the probability, this will be the P of E intersection phi. This will be the P of E into P of phi. This will be the P of E into, what will be the P of phi value? That will be the 0. P of phi, that will be equal to 0. Hence, here you can observe one thing. In the probability of an event E, we have some variables, but in the second probability of phi, you can't get any variables present. That means that will be then null set or null space. Hence, here P of E, we have the n number of variables, and here this 0 means, phi means we will get the 0 number of variables. That will be no variables will be present. Hence, this E and phi are independent. E and phi are independent. Similarly, if you see E intersection S is equal to, if you apply the probability for this, what will happen? This will be the P of E intersection S. If you take, this will be the P of E into P of S. This will be the P of E into P of S, means that will be equal to 1. P of S, that will be equal to 1. P of E into 1. This will be the E intersection S. Hence, this E and S are also independent events. This was the theorems for the today's class. In the next class, we will try to solve some Bayes theorem and some problems based on the Bayes theorem. And finally, we start the permutations and combinations. Thank you.